Good morning, everyone, and happy Monday. Happy almost March. Tomorrow is March 4th, or March 1st. 4th. I'm going to skip us 5 days. Hey, Adrian, happy Monday. I'm so glad you could be here with us.
Thanks for having me, but I need to say this. Everyone, good morning. Welcome to sunny Austin. The weather outside is, I have no clue what. Just had to say it.
It's
Just
like
had to say it.
30 degrees outside. So like -1
All
Celsius,
right.
which is not
Okay.
great.
Do not step
It's
out
cold.
without a coat.
Don't step out without a coat. And how is
Do not step out.
Goa?
Goa is sunny,
That's where
getting
you are?
hotter. That is where I am. That's right. It's kind of getting hot. We are entering the summer season. It's the tourist season. It's when all the folks from London and Switzerland and Germany come down here to soak in the sand. And all of the Indian tourists go to Goa to see all these foreigners coming in sunbathing.
So foreigners come for the warmth, and then all of the locals go to watch the foreigners.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is. That's exactly how it is.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like, well, anywhere warm with a beach sounds great right now in comparison to
Yeah.
the I don't know, and it's tricky. It's tricky here because last Tuesday we were at 86 degrees Fahrenheit, and by the end of the
Hmm.
day it had dropped to 33. It dropped 55 degrees in one day.
How do you
Like
survive that?
in
How do you survive that?
Well, that's a good question. So, usually it's nice and warm, but not so much today. But if you don't know me, I'm Crystal Weiss. I'm the director of marketing for QuestionPro, and as Adrian was saying, I am based in Austin, Texas. And joining me today is Adrian Mendez. He's right below me, and he is joining us from Goa, India, where it is much warmer. It would appear.
It's
uh,
absolutely warmer right here. Absolutely.
If you're new to Question Pro office hours, let us know in the comments section. And thank you for joining us across Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. We are so glad you are here, and we are so excited to answer your questions. Now, at Question Pro office hours, we can answer any question, whether it's what to do with your life or what you should get for dinner or lunch. We'll also answer questions about Question Pro. We mainly focus on our commercial licenses or our kind of self-serve. So Essentials, Advanced, and Team Edition. Essentials is our free for life, the most robust free survey software on the market right now. And so if you are an Essential user and you have questions, we are here to help. We also can help you on our chat. So QuestionPro/chat. We have 24/7 chat, and they're so helpful. Sometimes they help me even when I'm stuck. And that's not, I mean, they do, but usually I just ask Adrian. And we are, really dive into our advanced team edition. Now, if you don't know what our other products are, we also have a research suite, a customer experience platform, and an employee experience platform. So we are really a full, robust system that you can survey your participants, you can analyze what they're saying, and then you can do a lot more other things like fan experience or employee 360s, which are really hot right now. You could do not just like when people leave, exit interview questions. You could do stay interview questions. Stay interviews are something that are really catching on right now as the Great Resignation is entering another phase. So if you're looking for anything from employee experience, customer experience, or advanced research tools like the research suite, we are here for you. We also have a new product that we're going to introduce. Adrian, this was your idea, so I'll let you do the introductions.
All right. So we have a new product. I wouldn't call it a product, but
I guess it's not a
it's a new
product, sorry.
service. It's not a product. It's not a product. But we've heard you over the years. We've heard all our enduring little customers that we love a lot, and we want to make sure that we have all the help that you need. So we would be going full scale, full service very soon. We have a new director on board to help guide, navigate, and lead that initiative. And he will be talking. I'm not going to give out the names, He will be talking today. I've exclusively invited him to be on these office hours for today and speak about what he has in mind. What are we going to do? So the last 10 minutes are reserved for the director of services here at QuestionPro. That is market research services, if you're wondering. And then we'll talk about it more. I'm going to have a whole build up as we go along. There is a plug coming in somewhere in there for workforce for you today. And as Crystal said, Question Pro is an entire suite, but I would not say only research, internal, external, and all the way around. But it is also very, very good platform as an operational medium, because surveys are forms, forms are inputs, inputs are tickets, tickets are intakes, intakes
Adrian, you're
are
gonna blow my
your
mind right now.
intakes are your requisition slips that you fill out for inventory management. So guess what? Question Pro can do it all. You just need to
Oh
know
my
how.
gosh. I love chatting with you because I feel like you always make sure that I like get my mind blown with things that Question Pro can do. um
Awesome.
well, let's jump in then.
Mhm.
Adrian, and kind of like go through our new questions. I just want to give out a shout out to Marlon for submitting some questions, and because we love it when we know who's submitting our own questions. Tawanda always like submits great questions. I actually gave her an internal shout out the other day. I should have messaged her.
You should.
So
We love you, Twanda. We love you. Twanda's been with Question Pro for a lot of years. She's been asking a lot of many questions internally. Now she's voicing up on office hours. And the best part is that all her questions are helping a lot more other people. So huge shout out
yeah.
for Twanda.
So Adrian, if you could get ready to share your screen, I'm going to throw out our first question. Hi there,
Okay.
guys. I would like to know how to randomly divide survey participants into two groups. One group should receive
Okay.
information text before completing the survey, and the other should not. It is not an option to create two links for the surveys because I can't assure that anybody will do both. How do we
Awesome.
create
Okay.
first of all, I think there's a couple questions in there that we could answer in various ways.
Absolutely. I think first of all, props to Marlon. Marlon is the one who's asked this question, right?
Yeah.
Huge props to someone who can put their questions that articulately and that specifically, because it really helps. Because at the end of the day, we get the question, and Crystal and I are speculating on what the question is, but having all the do's and the don'ts really help to give the solution out. So we'll start one at a time. I'll kind of give you two versions to what can happen to this, because there are four possibilities in my head. I'm just going to do two today, considering the question that Marlon has had. So first, let's think about the do nots. So we cannot have two surveys because we cannot have two links. And Question Pro does not do two separate links for the same survey. So one link
Right.
will behave differently and the other link will behave differently. Or do we? Or do we? Or can we do that? That's the third possibility. I'll leave a hint. If you want to use, if you want to do two separate links, and both those links come back to the same survey, right? But the survey needs to behave differently based on the link. You need to look into custom variables and how you can set up logic using custom variables. But I'm not going to go too deep into that.
I was
I'm going
like,
to let all of you figure it out.
um, Adrian, if you could just highlight on your screen up there on the right-hand corner where their link is, perfect. I was like, you knew exactly what I was saying. If you don't know where to share a link for your survey, it's Adrian has it highlighted right now up on the right-hand side. This is available for any license type, a live survey link.
Absolutely.
Great.
Every license type, paid, not paid, doesn't matter. So you have this link, and the third one that I'm not gonna be talking about is using custom variables. So I'll let you figure it out, or maybe in the next office hours we can cover it if time permits. So for the first two, because we need to get Marlon an answer. So the first two, Marlon, we understand. It's not usually there will be two parts in any study. Let it be a concept test or an ad test, any of those studies, you would want to have an X number of respondents and a Y number of respondents, both equal. So we are talking about an even distribution over here. So the first technique, or the first method, is for those surveys that need to be created, which have only one question which will alternate. So Marlon's question is, I have an information text that half my respondents should see and the other half should not see. So I'm assuming that the rest of the survey remains the same. It's just this one question that half of them
Oh,
should see and the other half should not see, right? So again, it's how you interpret the question as well. So I'm going to go in all the interpret. So the first interpretation is this one guy right here would show to half and would not show to half. Now, it's not a straightforward technique. It is using a few bits and pieces here and there. So for the first thing that you need to do, always have your entire survey created. So what I've done is I've put in my first question. If those of you who know the answer, you can leave it in the chat box. We have a chat box, right? So you can leave a chat box or in the comments. When was the first? Which year did office hours first start? So I'm going to leave that question out there. The next thing, okay, you can ignore the hidden question for now. I've put in my information text that I want half my respondents to see, and the other half would not see it. And after that, my regular survey will start. So I've just added one question
okay.
for this example. All right. So far, what I've done is I've created my skeleton. My second point, or the second step I need to do, is I
Mm-hmm.
will come in and add what's called a hidden question. Now, a hidden question is nothing but a regular question. So you click on add a question, always select a select many, because I have two possibilities of how this survey can work out, right? One with the information text, one without. So I'm going to go for
Okay.
select many and get that question added. So I'm going to say group one and group two right here. Just options. It is only for my reference. It's not for anyone to see. All right.
No, it
Um,
nobody external because it's a hidden
no
question.
one.
Okay.
Exactly, exactly. Now the second part is, how do I make a question hidden? When you add a question, it's by default visible to everyone else. Now, how do I hide it? To hide it, you need to click on the settings in your sidebar, scroll down to where it says question display. I've highlighted that for you.
Mm-hmm.
In the drop down, move it to hide question. You
That's
get this little
awesome.
pop-up that will tell you, right? It'll tell you
What
what
are
it does, right?
what
Mhm.
are some other ways? Hidden questions could be a whole thing. We should do an episode on that.
Yes, absolutely.
what are what give me like two other ways you can use hidden that are valuable for hidden questions?
Okay, so the one way that I've seen a lot of clients use it is when you're doing like a longitudinal study and a question is no longer relevant. You would want to hide the question. You don't want to delete it because you lose data. So you'll hide the question so no one sees it. That's one way of using a hidden question. The second way of
Cool.
hidden question is segmentation, right? A lot of us, especially now this year, second half of 2021 and starting off in 2022, there are a lot of segmentation studies coming into effect. A lot of people want to create these buckets and categories, everything that is based off of other answers. So
Mm.
you can add the segmentation question directly in the survey. I know that there are a few segmentations that are complicated. They use coefficients. You need some bit of programming. For that, you would need some bit of services from the QuestionPro team. And we have someone to talk about it later today. But that as well is possible. And for those kind of questions, those segmentation questions, which you don't want the respondent to see, but you want it for analytical purposes, a hidden question is where you would be most comfortable with.
Okay. So hidden questions help you with segmentation. They also help you with bucketing people. And in this case, for Marlins, they are helping kind of guide two different groups of people with the requested heat. Let me look back at the
That's
question.
right.
Great. Okay.
That's
Keep
right.
going.
Awesome. Okay, so once you have agreed to this warning, it's more for your knowledge, so you know exactly what you're doing.
Right.
Don't get scared. It's okay. It's just information. So you can say yes, and you can move it. Now, the best way to identify whether the question is hidden or no, is you'll get this small little notifier. It's again only for you. No one else is going to see it. So no external respondent will get to see. Step number three, once your question is hidden, you want to default mark both these options. And whatever steps I'm taking will make sense to you at the very end. So step number three is click on go to an individual option, click on this little arrow here, and say default selected. And do that for both, right? Do that for both. So we want both the options default selected. And now is the last step. Step number 4, most important step, and this is where everything ties together. Go to logic. So click on logic. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to decide what group 1 sees and what group 2 sees. So group 1 is going to get my text information, and group 2 is not going to get the text information. So what I've done is I have said, if group 1 is selected, I want you to go to the information question and then follow my survey as it is. Versus for group 2, you will go directly to the question, not show the descriptive text, and continue with the rest of the survey. All right.
Yeah.
And then the last thing, once you do this, now this is in the skip logic. All right. First page, there's no more logic. So there's skip logic. That's about it. And the last thing comes to the randomization. So now I've done my selector, I've done my identifier, I've done my path. Everything is done. The last thing I want to do is I want to select what's called branching randomizer. Now let me explain what this is.
Please do.
Both my groups. Okay, so both my groups. For those of you who are lost, I'll explain it this way. I've selected
So
both
AKA
my
Crystal, for those who are lost.
Okay, so
I'm gonna get
here's
there.
what we've done. Okay, Crystal, this is for you. So what we do is we've default selected group 1 and group 2, which means that if you take the survey right now, your answer to the hidden question is going to be both group 1 and group 2, right? But what we want to do is I want to give you a path. I want the system to evenly assign either group 1 or group 2 to you, and then continue on that way, right?
Okay.
So for that to happen, I'm going to say branching randomizer, and I'm going to limit my choices to 1. So what that means is, even though there are 2 options selected, and even though when you take a response, the system will mark 2 answers against you, my randomizer right here will tell the system, hey, wait, the creator of the survey has said give 1 option randomly and evenly assigned. So which means the system, instead of picking both the options for you, will pick only 1 option, depending on which bucket is less right now. And then we'll let you continue on the path that I've selected over here.
Cool.
Okay, and you save logic. That's about it. That's how the whole thing.
Man, this seems like something, for in marketing, when we do like big workflows and different marketing segmentation setups, like I make sure I write everything out on paper ahead of time so I understand which variables I need, which logic I'm doing. And this just reminds me of like the importance of prepping your survey like ahead of time before you start programming it. Because if you're going to get in here and start programming it on the fly, your face is going to look like confused like mine.
Absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't see. Okay, so the one good part about it is QuestionPro is much more robust. So even if you start programming it on the fly, step number 1 is first get your skeleton down. That's what I've always said. Get your main skeleton of the survey down. Go into tools, click on download in Word or PD, possibly Word, or print it out. Because what it does is all your questions now come up on a paper or on a document, and then you can start programming it the way you want to. So you don't have to start from scratch. You start programming it, download it, write it down, and then come back and start looking at how everything is flowing.
I love that. That is such a good hack, Adrian.
Thanks.
Not a hack. That's like just common. I would say like that's a good practice.
Yeah, and on the contrary, so if you've attended Live with Dan, of course you've attended Live with Dan, you know that the whole conversation right now is about being agile. All the researchers have been asked to be agile. There's a lot more projects going on, and far less resources made available. So if you have like a last minute project that you really don't have the time, and it's complicated for you to even sit and put in that 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours of getting the survey in, you can reach out to, guess who? The QuestionPro Market Research Services. Because that's exactly why we are here. Like we felt the need of a services team uh, to actively be there, because our clients at this point, like I know a lot of the people, a lot of the users that I work with personally, work with, we exchange Thanksgiving notes, Christmas notes. Some of them are even invited for my wedding that's going to happen later this year, for my marriage or wedding, whatever, that's going to happen later this year. um, a lot of them are right now just struggling with resources, because like we
Mhm.
have a lot of project, we have a lot of work, but we just don't have the right resources to get things done. So that's the reason why Question Pro Market Research Services uh, is something that we're introducing to help you do what you want to do. So it's not that we are going to take over and do it for you, like tell you what you need to do. We're just going to help you. So your resources are now sitting with us.
Right. So now, as let's say we've gotten through this, you've reached out, market research services has helped you get through all this programming. Now we just walk us through a quick distribution, because I feel like that's where people, we always want to make sure that they take their survey to the end
Right.
goal.
Right, right. Okay. Now, when it comes to the distribution, okay, I might have misunderstood Crystal's question, but I'll still continue on speaking any which ways. Um, I- when you're doing your survey, you will most of the times you will know your respondent. Try to
Mhm.
keep your survey short. Try to avoid or reduce the number of clicks, because we have, so Question Pro has these auto select, has this default submits. We have a functionality under design that is called auto advance. Basically, it tells your respondents, it helps your respondents not to click too much. They'll only need to answer and the pages start moving along. Having these kind of resources in your survey and making your survey go faster, keeping the
Mm,
question really simple. It's very easy. So I can ask a question in two ways, right? I can say, hey Crystal, so how was your weekend? And Crystal can give me a long ass answer. Or I can say, hey Crystal, did you enjoy your weekend or was it bad? See the difference? She
you're right.
literally has to pick between two options. So try to keep your questions and options as simple as possible. That's where, again, our services team will help you with that. And distribution. So the last part is make the survey available to your target audience in a place where they will be taking it. So if you think the people you're trying to reach out to would be more accessible on emails, do the emails. If you think that you want to do like a social media send out, do the
Yeah.
social media send out. We even have a QR code for
QR
Instagram, so
codes
you
are
can
making
take
a
the code.
comeback, man.
Absolutely, and that's Instagram for you right there. I mean, a lot of people are on Instagram right now. Just fancy it up, put your brands and push it on
Yeah.
Instagram.
And
And if none of that works, yes, you were going to say the same thing I'm going to say.
no.
No, okay.
I was gonna
And
say, on Instagram now, for any of the brands out there, you can add your own tap through links. It's not just for an influencer echelon anymore. Every user can add links onto their stories and just directly on the video. You don't have to put it in the bio or anything anymore. So that's a great use of our. Sorry, I just like pointed at the screen like you could see me. That's the great use of our survey link. Is if you want to post that on social media, places like TikTok and Instagram, you can post it straight to your video.
awesome. I think we should do like a session of office hours with Question for Marketing by Crystal.
Ooh, how to market your survey. That is, I feel like there's actually two parts of that. With Dan one time on Live with Dan, we even did a how to be an advocate for your research and how to market it
Right.
internally. So there's like two phases, like how to market your survey so that people can take it, and then how to market
Hmm.
your um results internally to advocate for change. Two ways.
Awesome. Now you
Okay.
need to do the operational stuff. All right. So, okay, coming back to the topic, the last thing that I wanted to talk to you all about or tell you all about the distribution is, if you don't have an email list, if you don't have a target audience, or basically you don't have their reach outs available with you, you can reach out to the Question Pro audience team, give them your target audience, and you will get good quality monitored projects completed.
Oh yeah, our audience team is awesome. They are so great at creating samples for you, and their data like quality is off the charts. We're constantly hearing about it internally,
Hmm.
even
Hmm.
it's that good. So
Absolutely.
then I guess to finish up, I actually had to Google this because I didn't know what it was. Marlon has a question about SPSS analysis.
Yes.
I don't know what that is. I had to Google it.
It's a software by IBM. I'll just leave it there. It's a software by IBM. I'm not going to pretend like I'm an expert on it, but it is a software by IBM. It's very robust. It's useful, but off lately, I've heard a lot of people trying to switch to Q or R instead of SPSS. Marlon, if you're here, leave us a comment as to why you think SPSS. What do you what's your take on R analysis and Q? Because I really want to understand what I've not dealt with R analysis or Q, but I've heard a lot of our clients who take the SPSS download and then plug the SPSS download in R analysis and Q and then run the analysis in there. So Marlon, if you've ever tried that, do let me know, educate me about why is it better, so I can then use it internally as well. You know where my
Okay.
knowledge comes from now. So
And then
SPSS download.
this leads into our next question then from I'm gonna say Ensuk about where you can analyze survey results and generate the reports.
Okay, so
What did you
in general, everything about generating reports, getting your data, seeing what's coming in, seeing what's going out, all of that will always be under analytics. Now, analytics has been the section or the sub tab of analytics has been very clearly divided, and it's a pretty simple representation. The first one are dashboards and online data. If you want to see anything online, you need to look at the first drop down. You'll get a cumulative summary of all the questions. You can change the statistics of a certain question and see how the means are being calculated and the medians are being calculated. If you want to see the responses online, then this is where you need to be. So everything online is your first drop down. If you want to try something more, your advanced analytics, like your cross tabulations, turf analysis, gap analysis. Now, there was a question about
Eh.
gap analysis, and I want to answer the question over here. Uh,
Ooh.
yeah, so there was a question. I remember reading the question of that someone asked, what is gap? How do you use gap analysis? When does it work, and what's the recommendation? That's the question, right? If you have it
Yeah.
in front of you, Crystal. Okay,
No, that
awesome.
sounds exactly
So
like it.
okay, so now the advanced analysis drop down, most of these analyses are directly tied to some question type or the other. Your gap analysis is tied to a side by side matrix. I'm going to go back very quickly and show you what side by side matrix is. So, gap analysis is directly tied to your side by side matrix, and you need to go into advanced. So add a question, go into advanced, come right down over here, and we should be seeing it there, side by side matrix.
Right.
Only if you have this matrix type will the gap analysis work.
Okay.
Okay,
Good to
and
know.
and where do you use it? Why do you use it? Again, it's a side by side matrix, which means that you have columns and columns under columns. So it's like two columns with each of those columns having their individual rating. The simplest way I can explain gap matrix, or the way I've at least understood it, is if you want to see the gap in expectations versus reality. That's the best
Ooh.
way I've understood it.
Expectations are always more fun than reality.
Exactly. What?
It's like I need to talk to my therapist about that later.
Yeah, I'm like, no. Okay, so that's gap analysis. For whoever asked the question, brilliant question, because I've not seen that question come up in quite a few years now. None of my clients have actually asked it in at least 2 years. But the time that we are going through right now is the perfect time to ask for these expectation versus reality kind of questions. And gap analysis will show you the divide between the two, and will show you how far off are the expectation with in terms of the reality, or how far of the reality in terms of expectation. Right. So that's gap analysis. It is a scattered chart. So if you can read it, good. I cannot read it. So, but Question Pro has a pretty it has a pretty robust UI, so it explains it all for you.
Well, that's good.
So that's a second drop down for you. All of the advanced questions and the advanced question analytics are directly tied over here. The third drop down, again, if you're looking for report downloads of open ended questions, that's your third drop down from your
Okay.
word clouds, text analysis, sentiment analysis, text highlighters, conversion of qualitative data to quantitative data. That's text analysis for you.
Great.
The
Choice model.
this This is completely dedicated to choice modeling, your max diffs and conjoints. I'm going to skip right through it and go to manage data. This is where all the downloading, most of the downloading at least happens in aggregate. So you need to come to manage data, come to export. This will give you all the possible, this option will give you all the possible choices available when it comes to exporting the data from the QuestionPro platform to your systems. All right. My system is stuck for some weird reasons, but I'm going to get it up. The first thing that you see on your screen, this is the Excel part of it. So
Right.
here you have the option to download Excel CSV, presentation format, Word format, SPSS.
Ha!
Okay, I'm
Hey,
just
there's
gonna.
that. We were just talking about that. Great job.
Okay, I think my sharing is getting in the way, so I'll just stop sharing for a minute and come back. A sec. Oh, it was. See,
Ah,
it opened up.
and another thing is when you're in that, I just want to remind people that no matter what license you're on, you can share your dashboard also through a link. So
Hmm.
you can on Essentials, you get one dashboard and you're able to share that dashboard with people who you want to view the survey results with. And the survey results are automatically updated. I think that's something we really miss is a lot of people don't realize they think that it's going to be stuck in a point of time when actually our survey results can be shared as they're updated continuously.
Absolutely, yeah, and do try the multiple dashboard. It's an amazing way of keeping different stakeholders entertained, informed at the same time because they won't be slacking
Are you
you.
entertained? Sorry.
Yeah, because I've had this. Like a lot of the researchers have this one problem because they keep getting emails and pings and it's like, hey, where's the data at? What's going on? Do we have this? Just send them a link and they'll be
And
happy.
pin it to Slack. Just pin it. And
Right,
then you can just
right.
reshare
Just pay.
it.
Awesome. Okay, so my screen is back. The sharing was had interfered with it, but now we're good. So the first one is the raw data export. Like I said, Excel CSV. There was a question about what's the best way of downloading in SPSS, or how do you keep your data ready for a good SPSS download data set, right? I'm going to answer that, but I'll also tell you what is better in Excel. I would always say go for a single header row. It means that your question now comes in a single row on top of your Excel or your CSV file. When you freeze those rows and those columns, it's easy for you to go up and down. If you are trying to aggregate data by using like a macro or something that works on numbers and not on text, then try to go for the codes instead of values. If you're just trying to see answers, then go for the display answer values straight up. Uh, I would say try to use the data filter as much as you can instead of just getting like a raw dump. Raw dump is good if you just want to archive it. But if you
Mhm.
really want to do analysis, always create a data filter and then make sure that you use the data filter when you're downloading that information. One very important thing that you can do is display report labels. So when you're creating your survey, you get an option to add report labels. What that means is your question can be long and big, and you really don't have the time to, to keep checking what that means in an Excel. So give them contextually understandable labels. When they come out in an Excel, they'll be really short and easy for you to understand. It's not the question, basically.
Ah, I see what you're saying. I've that's happened to me before.
Awesome.
Oh, so then you could
See,
do like
Chris,
question 1, question 2 instead
yes.
of being
So
like,
you can,
"Is
yeah,
Adrian
you
having a
can do
great
that.
weekend? Yes or no?"
Hell yeah. But all right. But then if it's just about questions, so it's a good point, though, Crystal. If it's just a question number that you want, then go for display question codes because then you don't want your labels. What I'm
Right.
talking about, is how was this year as compared to the last year? Now, imagine how big that question is. Rather, I can just put a label, say comparison between this year, last year, straight up,
Okay.
right?
Oh, and so
So,
labels and codes are different?
mhm, that's right. So codes are your question, your default given question, question one, question two, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, Q5.
Oh.
Labels are text that I've specifically given
Oh.
a
Well,
question.
that's fun. I mean, I was using question 1 as a label, but I didn't realize. I was like, okay, that's awesome. Good to know. Fun fact, people.
Awesome.
We
Fun
code
fact.
automatically. We don't label automatically.
We don't label on it because label is subjective, so we don't. I'll come to charts and analytical reports. Again, presentation format, Word format, direct analytical downloads. These are aggregated information. So your charts, your open enders, your table data, all of that is going to come in. Fun fact, and I'm pretty sure Crystal doesn't know this.
Well, I don't know. I
If
probably don't.
Okay, and this is actually a marketing input to QuestionPro. If you have a brand slide, all right, if you have a presentation format with a certain branding that needs to be on it, you can take the master presentation slide. Now I'm using very specific words. When I say master presentation slide, someone on your marketing's collateral creation team will know what that means.
You're
It's
like
a specific
your
format.
branded default template for your company.
There you go. The marketing person just spoke. So you take that, and you add it to your Question Pro account and then download it. So what will happen is
Oh,
the template will be used as a download and the data will be put on the template. So you don't have to do additional work after that.
that's awesome. I
Crystal,
love
did you know that?
I didn't know that. Wow. It's like, I think you really overestimate how often I build surveys.
Wait, what? We need to convert a lot of your some of your work to surveys. Let's meet after this.
Ooh, there is another office hours. Like what marketing things could you do that could just be a survey?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's another office hours.
Okay, here
All
we go.
right.
And keep going. And here we
Cool.
are at our statistical package export, or better known as SPSS.
There you go. Okay, so again, SPSS follows the same rules as that of Excel, at least when it comes to downloading on QuestionPro's platform. So we've kept them pretty similar. When you download any data in the SPSS format, you will get the variable view, and the you will get the variable view, and you'll get the data view. I was trying to see if I have something to show you, but then I did not have like a dummy SPSS to show. So I'm going to continue speaking. The best thing to do now, so Marlon, your question is how to do the SPSS. It's exactly the same the way you do in Excel. Come in over here. I would recommend use display answer values instead of codes, especially for SPSS, because what it does is it gives you the filled out variable view so that you can toggle the views in SPSS when you're trying to run any statistics. Statistics will be run directly on the data that is given in the file, so you don't need to do any additional processing. There is one thing that I have encountered in the past, though, is multi-select questions come in as dots. If it's blank, if the answer was not given, so you would want to kind of either use a replacement or want to figure out how you want to handle that data. I knew something that worked in SPSS. I can't remember it on the top of my head. If I get it, I'm going to send that to you in an email personally. But then, all right. So those are the best ways that you can use SPSS. Try to go for values because you get two options. You can use the toggle value and data in SPSS. If you want to run statistics using the value, you can. If you want to run statistics using the numbers, then that as well can be done just in all of it in one download. I would say display question code in the variable name in SPSS, but then again, this choice is very personal. If you don't display question codes in the variable name, then the label is going to be the question text itself. If the question text is empty, the question code will get attached to it. By default, every question text has question code attached to it. Now I'm speaking so much, and I cannot see Crystal's face, but I know she's completely lost.
No,
So
I'm
Crystal,
not
everything
lost.
that
I
I'm
just am like, man, there are a lot of details. I like every time you speak, I just like commend market research practitioners. They must hold so much content in their head of like how to do their job.
So I'm trying to answer two questions. So one is Marlon's question of how do we download SPSS, and then there was another question: what is the best way to download SPSS? And it's a very good question, right? It's a very smart question, because if you have the wrong settings on over here and you download it and you want to run statistical analysis, the data might not suit the analysis you're doing. You have to then come back to the platform and then try to download the data in a certain way. And I've seen people get frustrated.
Mhm.
When I was trying to do it, even I got frustrated. So there are like these few minute things that if you take care, your SPSS analysis would be like super awesome.
I love that. Well, thank you. Man, I feel like I just got so much information. But it's good. And we're gonna just do we have like one more question left. We covered
Mhm.
how to divide survey participants by a group using hidden questions. We talked about where to distribute your question or your surveys using our distribution options such as email or your live link up there in the corner. We walk through all the
Mhm.
different ways you can analyze your survey results, whether that be quantitative or qualitative. But we got one question that is a little bit more workforce related, so employee experience related. It was um how do you know if your workforce or your staff is ready for surveys and if they're ready to be communicated with as far as surveys are concerned? And I just wanted to throw out one survey template out there to just get to really help with that. Radhika will drop it in the comments section, and I'm going to share my screen and we'll just walk through it right here. We actually have a lot of different survey templates available, but this one also lets you know if your company is communicates well and if the people are feeling what's the word? Cordial to actually
Mhm.
answering your survey. And this will definitely give you, you know, a kind of a temperature check or a pulse on your company, along with all of these other options for employee experience, whether it be performance reviews or culture reviews or 360s. We have a lot of options here: how your staff is feeling, how they if when they're leaving. I mean, there is this is a really long page. um still going. So yeah, as you can see, we have a lot of surveys that you and if you just tap into these, this will automatically load into your account, which is like super easy because we all know that the hardest part of making a survey, in my opinion, is coming up with the questions. Hey, look, there's a cross matrix. Is that what this is?
It is a single select matrix.
Oh, single select. Never mind. I
Single select
looked
matrix.
like the other ones. So you thank you guys for asking these questions and to kind of talk about when you're stuck. Adrian, you want to introduce your surprise guest?
Oh, that was the plug. Sorry, but before we go to the
That was
surprise
the
desk,
sales pitch.
I'm like, I thought you have something else. You see, people, this is not pre. We cannot practice this stuff and go. But before I go and introduce our guest, our guest of honor for today,
Honor.
um, I wanna for the people who've asked the question on the workforce, it's never. Don't wait for the right time. Start asking questions to your employees. When they start trusting you, those questions will come in. Question Pro started way long back. We did not, very honestly, right? We're being very transparent here. We did not get a good response at the time, and then over time, as the trust built, today we have full-fledged annual kind of culture check surveys that Sanya and her team does. Shout out to Workforce over there, and do take a read at Radical and QuestionPro's study from chaos comes clarity. A lot of your questions are going to be answered over there. It tells you what the norms are, how do you start, where do you start, what the percentages look like, so you can be comfortable when you start testing the waters. Oh yeah, that was the workforce plug. If you want to know more,
Man, they're
if you
gonna
want,
love that you even plugged their study because it is so good. We'll drop that into the comment section also.
awesome, awesome. All right, so drum roll. I'm gonna be calling on Mr. Patrick Jones, the director of Market Research Services. He is here to help us lead you into a more assisted market research operations. Patrick,
All
all
right.
you.
Great. Well, thank you very
Hi,
much. Hi there.
welcome to live streaming with Question Pro.
All right. I won't lie. My heart is palpitating a little bit. You know. So I appreciate the warm introduction very much. So my name is Patrick Jones, and I am the new director of research services here at QuestionPro. Until about an hour ago, I thought I spoke with a very neutral North American accent, and I should introduce myself as being from Canada. Although Crystal seemed to notice it immediately. So, I've taken down all my hockey sticks and ear warmers, but nonetheless, I guess I've been outed or outed as a Canadian.
Sorry, I can't
So
stop laughing.
for us, it's a nice balmy -1 today. So it's all a matter of perspective. For me, I think, oh, -1, what a great day, beautiful weather. But I suppose, yeah, maybe
No,
in Texas,
you are wrong.
great. Just got to dress for it. So today I'm grateful to be here and introduce myself, and as well introduce what research services as as we said, not necessarily a new product, but sort of a new service that we offer here, what it is. And just to confirm, are you guys hearing me nice and clearly?
Oh
No
yeah.
echoes or nothing?
We're
Okay,
hearing you and we're seeing you.
okay, great. So the research services service that we are now happy to offer is really an extension of what we've been doing. So obviously, QuestionPro has been around now for a while as an industry-leading platform, and the goal now is to take it from a platform for your organization and really take it to that next step of being an industry-leading partner for your organization. So I will share my screen, first effort, and I just installed a new screen 2 hours ago. So, fingers crossed. Let's see how well this goes. So I'm going to share a screen. All right. Tell me if that
I'm going to add it to the stream. Here we go.
Okay, beautiful. All right. So, there's our nice introduction. So as we can see, the idea here is for research services to go above and beyond just doing your surveys or being a place where you can do your surveys, and really taking that next step from end to end as a research partner. So what that means is that previously, we really worked as a platform where you could build your survey, and we'd offer excellent support to help you. What kind of question you want to ask, as some of the guides and walkthroughs that Adrian did today, help you with how to build a survey. And that sort of assumes that you've already got the questions, as Crystal mentioned, which can be very difficult to come up with, but you've already got them ready. So you approach the platform, with a Word document or an Excel, and then, we help you to run that survey, and then we can export, analytics, in SPSS format, Excel, and we can run analytics, with cross tabs, gap analyses, all of this. Sort of the middle section. So we didn't really help you to figure out what questions to ask. And if you're not able to read an SPSS report, which, maybe not everybody can, or, maybe
Some of
you
us
don't
know what it is.
That's right. Or an Excel export might not be the way you want to present your data in a meeting or in a presentation. That was very much still something that we could, offer some technical support with, but not something that we did. So by going end to end, we're really looking to kind of take that first step where you can have a question, or maybe you don't know where to begin just yet, and we can sit down and work with you to figure out how to which question to ask, and then how to ask it. So before you even sit down and start thinking about building a survey, we can help you figure out what type of survey you might want to build. And then, of course, just as before, we're able to run the surveys, analyze the data. But again, in this day and age, there's more and more data, more and more information. Not necessarily every organization wants to scale up to have a gigantic research department. So we can now sort of take that sort of a handoff, and as opposed to just offering sort of technical support and being available for questions, and we can really now work with you to craft your research proposal, and then take the heavy lifting and build it, run it, and analyze it. And then on the other end, now deliver reports that really take that sort of that fountain of data, or sometimes we say like a fire hose of data that's coming at you, and really turn it into
AKA what Adrian just did to me.
Exactly. So it was a great introduction. I don't know if that was planned, Adrian, but I heard Crystal saying several times, "Wow, that's a lot of information. That's a lot of information." So that's right. When we have that sort of fire hose of data, which it's not that hard to access lots of data nowadays, but what we really want is that faucet that we can turn on, turn off, and have some actionable, clear, concise insights. So the goal of the research services is to work as a partner, and again, sit down, work with your organization or business to understand your needs. What do you want to know? What are you looking to find out? And then kind of explore what the best path forward is. And then, it's a matter of maintaining that consultation, keeping in touch, but we are able to take that heavy lifting and, apply our own expertise and in terms of survey design, analytics, and reporting. And of course, we train people, we offer support for our platform, but when we do the research on the survey platform, on the QuestionPro platform, you're able to leverage, real experts on how to use every question type, how to use every analytic tool, how to export it. So it's a matter of being able to really, leverage the platform to the maximum amount. And again, sort of take that heavy lifting off so that, question goes in, and you wait a little bit, not too long, and then boom, you're able to get a nice, concise, very intuitive, easy to read report that highlights the kind of key insights and answers that you're looking for. So I'm really looking forward to working with more and more clients. It's already, the ball has begun to start rolling, and it's a bit more like a snowball. So this week has become, last week was busier than the week before. This week is already busier than that week. But as we get going, we've got a huge team here that I'm learning who I can lean on. Adrian, is starting to realize that he'll be hearing from me, more and more. We'll talk every 2 weeks, and then a few days go by, and we're back in touch. So I'm very, very happy.
Actually, we talk every day.
So if there are any questions, I'm not sure if I'm able to see them on my screen, but yeah, maybe let me know if there's anything.
No, it doesn't look like there's any questions now, but we dropped the QuestionPro Services website landing page into the chat, so
Excellent.
People can fill out a form, and they'll they can reach out to you, or always reach out to us on chat, and you'll get directed to Patrick's team as needed. Patrick, I do have one question.
Sure.
How tall are you?
I'm about 6'4".
Yes, we called it.
Oh.
I was like, the ceiling seems really
well.
close to your head.
I don't know what I think it's this camera, and I'm doing some renovations, so I moved I'm on a standing desk, so I pushed it up.
I mean, I'm also at a standing desk, but my ceiling is like way up there.
I don't know. I don't know if it's like a wide angle or what, but yes, it seems to capture a lot of my ceiling, as well as this wall over
You're
here.
like literally even with the window.
Yeah.
I know, right? Yeah.
But
Crystal and me were like,
anyway,
dude, what's
I
his
had
height?
to ask. End on a high note. I was like, I'm 5'3", so I always thought 5'6" would be the perfect height. But anyway.
Well,
I think that's a
I wear
segment.
shoes while I'm at my standing desk, so it gives me a even more. So, but yeah, I need to get a camera that's up higher, looking,
looking down. You're like,
yeah, or at least level with me, because yeah.
Plus, I think always meeting our coworker, I was going to say employers, meeting our coworkers over camera is always a different experience, and I always feel like I've created like these ideas about them in my head, and then later you'll meet them and be like, you're tall, or like you have short hair. I imagined you with long hair, or different versions. But so it's always great to see our colleagues. Patrick, thank you for joining us. And if anyone needs help, research services are here for you. He's over here.
Absolutely. So my pleasure, and it was great to sit on this live chat. And yeah, lots of fun. I was as I said, I was very nervous here. Of course, this is what we do. If you work in analytics, you overanalyze things. So I sat here taking notes. What should I get ready? What should I have prepared?
I think I would say that office hours is even more casual than Live with Dan. Live with Dan is just shorter. So they don't have the opportunity for shenanigans as much, but they do have a lot of shenanigans.
I think a lot of shenanigans on Live with Dan happen off camera. So you'll have Dan doing stuff.
That's also true. But so everyone, next month we will be here on March 28th with Kartik Bhatt, our other kind of office hours guest, to take us through whatever questions you submit to us and anything else we have as far as new features are concerned. So join us next month, March 28th at 11 a.m. Central Time. We will be here to answer all your questions. Until then, have a great day, you guys. Bye, Patrick. Bye, Adrian.
All right.
Stay safe, everyone. Bye, Crystal. Thanks, Patrick. Bye-bye.